In a world saturated with fleeting fame and surface-level stardom, rare are those who bring soul, sincerity, and strength to the screen with every breath. Özge Törer, a name once whispered only among hopeful acting students, now roars across continents as a symbol of raw talent, cultural pride, and silent resilience. Not only has she stepped into the shoes of iconic historical women with grace, but she has also carved her own legacy, one bold step at a time. The face behind the beloved Bala Hatun in Kuruluş Osman didn't rise overnight. It took patience, purpose, and a quiet fire that refused to dim even in the darkest corners of self-doubt. This is not just an actress's biography. This is a living script of transformation, identity, and promise. Journey, the early life of a dreamer. Born in 1998 in Istanbul, Özge Törer was raised with values rooted deeply in Turkish tradition and cultural authenticity. Her childhood was marked by simplicity, modesty, and a constant pull toward creative expression. Unlike many who chase dreams for validation, Özge's passion for storytelling grew naturally, fueled not by ambition, but by genuine love for human experience and emotion. Her early days in Muğla provided her with an organic relationship with nature, quietude, and introspection. The calmness of village life gifted her the ability to observe life deeply and empathetically. Her participation in school plays began as a fun escape, but quickly blossomed into purpose. The applause was never her fuel. It was the reaction in the audience's eyes, the transformation in their expressions that made her heart race. Choosing acting wasn't a decision made lightly. It meant discipline, it meant isolation, and it meant entering a world where she would constantly be measured. Yet, Özge committed wholeheartedly. She enrolled in Muğla Sıtkı Koçman University, majoring in performing arts, a space that allowed her to refine her instinctive talent into polished skill. Journey, stepping into the spotlight. Her audition for Kuruluş Osman came as both a blessing and a challenge. The historical saga was already destined for international glory, and every role demanded immense responsibility. Özge, with limited professional experience at the time, took on the role of Bala Hatun, wife of Osman Gazi, mother of an empire, with dignity, balance, and emotional wisdom far beyond her years. While others might have trembled under the weight of such a character, Özge immersed herself in history, language, and the emotional layers of her role. She wasn't just portraying a historical figure, she was embodying values that formed the very backbone of Turkish identity: honor, loyalty, faith, and strength. Her portrayal connected not just with local audiences, but with global viewers across borders. Suddenly, she wasn't just an actress, she became a cultural ambassador. The grace in her gestures, the fire in her convictions, and the softness in her silence echoed the essence of every woman who had ever fought for love, family, and purpose. But the road wasn't smooth. Fame brings its own burdens. With every episode aired, expectations grew. Yet, Özge never allowed external noise to drown her internal compass. She focused, adapted, learned, and most importantly, remained authentic.
Challenges. Silence behind the spotlight. The world applauded her elegance and strength on screen, but few truly grasped the shadows behind her spotlight. Fame, especially one that arrives quickly, can unsettle even the most grounded souls. Özge faced the invisible pressure of proving herself in an industry that rarely forgives hesitation. Being a young woman in a competitive, often male-dominated field came with emotional battles. From enduring critical reviews to managing relentless media scrutiny, her days were filled with both admiration and unspoken weight. Every choice she made, every look she carried, every word she delivered was examined. It took immense courage to keep her identity intact. Another challenge was maintaining balance. The line between character and self began to blur. Playing Bala Hatun wasn't just acting, it demanded mental and emotional immersion. After long shoots and emotionally heavy scenes, Özge often had to pause and remind herself of who she was off-screen. Beyond professional hurdles, personal sacrifices mounted. Time with family grew rare. Friendships altered. Normalcy slipped away. But Özge never complained. Instead, she embraced solitude as a mirror, using it to grow wiser, calmer, and more emotionally intelligent. What makes them unique? What sets Özge Törer apart isn't just her undeniable beauty or her impeccable performances. It's the quiet power she exudes, without forcing it. Her strength isn't loud, yet it commands attention. Her eyes speak volumes even when her lips remain sealed. That balance of intensity and serenity is rare. She listens more than she talks. She studies human behavior deeply. Rather than mimic others, she draws from lived emotions. Her acting is layered, not in technique alone, but in soul. Whether portraying a moment of joy or deep sorrow, she brings authenticity that cuts through the screen. Moreover, Özge values education and discipline. Even at the height of her fame, she continues to read, to study new cultures, and to challenge herself artistically. She doesn't chase awards, she chases evolution. Another distinctive trait is her grounded lifestyle. Unlike many celebrities who build walls around their fame, Özge remains approachable. She carries herself with humility, interacts with her fans warmly, and acknowledges her team generously. She's not trying to dominate the industry, she's trying to dignify it. Future possibilities. The path ahead for Özge Törer shines with infinite potential. As global audiences continue to crave authentic storytelling and multicultural representation, her fluency in both tradition and emotion positions her as a global artist. Many international platforms are already taking note. With the right projects, Özge could easily transition to global cinema, perhaps in historical epics, period dramas, or cross-cultural love stories. Her face, her expression, and her grace carry the universality needed to connect with hearts in every language. Beyond acting, Özge might explore voiceover work, direction, or even cultural diplomacy. Her articulate nature, understanding of heritage, and ability to connect deeply could make her an influential figure in cultural preservation through media. She may also step into activism, using her platform to advocate for women's rights, mental health, or educational equity. Given her strong moral compass, it wouldn't be surprising to see her start initiatives that bridge the entertainment world with meaningful change. There is also talk in creative circles about Özge writing her own scripts, stories rooted in forgotten Turkish legends, ancient love tales, or women warriors. Should she pursue writing or producing, she could reshape the way historical women are portrayed globally. Marriage and family may also come into her life, but knowing Özge, she'll balance personal joy with professional passion. She doesn't strike as someone who'll ever abandon her purpose, only enrich it with new chapters. Conclusion. Özge Törer isn't just an actress. She's a movement, a gentle revolution wrapped in elegance, strength, and truth. From quiet school plays in Mugla to becoming the symbolic face of Turkish resilience, her journey whispers one truth, that greatness doesn't always arrive with noise. In every role, in every moment of silence, she carries history, emotion, and vision. Her life is a testament to what happens when talent meets humility, when discipline partners with dream, and when a woman chooses grace over grandeur. The world will continue to shift. New stars will rise. But Özge Törer's legacy won't fade. It will be carried forward, quietly but powerfully, in the hearts of those who recognize the rare beauty of purpose-led storytelling. Journey. Final expansion. The artist and the inner world. As Özge progressed through her artistic life, her relationship with storytelling transformed into something almost sacred. Acting, for her, wasn't just a skill to master, it became a spiritual practice. She began to view each role as an offering, a tribute to someone who may never be remembered in history books but lived with emotion just as deep. She became more selective with her scripts. She turned down offers that focused on shallow glamour or roles that objectified women. She started advocating for characters with substance, roles that portrayed women as thinkers, builders, warriors, and healers. With every performance, she reminded the world that softness is not weakness and dignity doesn't need spectacle. Her personal life, though private, also deepened her understanding of characters. Relationships taught her compromise, heartbreak taught her surrender, solitude taught her endurance. She journaled daily, recording dreams, snippets of emotion, or poetic thoughts triggered by fleeting moments on set or in nature. She often found inspiration in music, Turkish classical, Sufi rhythms, even quiet instrumentals from faraway cultures. These melodies shaped the way she approached emotional transitions within scenes. She once shared during a backstage conversation, "I prepare for crying scenes by remembering sounds, not faces. Music captures what words never can." This depth began to shape how directors approached her. They trusted her instincts. Scripts were altered to match the emotion she brought to the room. Cinematographers began focusing on her silent expressions rather than flooding scenes with dialogue. She became a muse, not because she demanded it, but because she evoked it. Challenges final expansion, the price of integrity. Özge's refusal to compromise on values didn't come without cost. Some producers considered her difficult for turning down roles that conflicted with her artistic philosophy. There were moments when she sat at home without work, offered projects that promised global exposure but lacked meaning. She chose silence over selling her soul. The digital age also brought its burdens. Social media, while a tool for connection, sometimes became a battlefield of opinion. People judged her beliefs, her silence on political topics, even her facial expressions during interviews. But Özge refused to engage in public debates designed only to provoke. She protected her peace and let her work speak. She also struggled with isolation. Fame created an invisible distance between her and many old friends. Relationships shifted, conversations changed, and genuine companionship became harder to find. In her quietest moments, Özge missed the freedom of anonymity, the ability to cry in a cafe, laugh in a park, or walk barefoot through the city without judgment. But these moments, instead of breaking her, polished her spirit. She grew quieter, not smaller. Her inner life grew richer. She explored meditation, art therapy, and even began painting during her downtime, translating her emotions through color when words felt limiting. Every challenge became an invitation to rise, to transform, and to trust. What makes them unique? Final expansion, inner riches, outer impact. What sets Özge apart isn't just her refined talent, it's her unwavering sense of identity. In a world that constantly demands reinvention, she has remained rooted in authenticity. She evolves, yes, but never forgets where she started or why. She doesn't market herself through controversy or curated fantasy. Her Instagram isn't a showroom, it's a journal in pictures. She shares poetry, quiet moments with animals, snapshots of the sky. Each post feels like a whisper, not a shout. She also gives back without needing attention. Özge funds scholarships for aspiring actresses from low-income villages. She supports rural theater groups and donates anonymously to women's shelters. Her philanthropy is silent, consistent, and deeply personal. As a woman of faith, Özge finds guidance not in fame's fleeting light, but in spiritual grounding. Her prayer life, her gratitude rituals, and her connection to ancestral stories nourish her creativity. Before big performances, she often lights a candle and whispers a silent promise, to serve, not shine. Her uniqueness also lies in her multi-dimensional curiosity. She reads psychology, studies old philosophies, sketches historical costumes, and writes short stories. These layers allow her to embody characters with profound emotional accuracy, each portrayal backed by a library of knowledge and a garden of empathy.